Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Race Department Japan commentary. My name is Andrew. I'm an ex-driver in this series. I've decided to take a season off to do some other racing ventures, but here I am to give you some commentary of one of my favoriteest leagues that I've ever been a part of. I've been part of this league for many years now, and these guys are going to put on a good show for you today, so here's the qualifying session. We're at Japan today, the Suzuka circuit. Circuit that's been on the F1 calendar for many, many years now, and has had very intense battles, you could say, dating back to the Senna and Prost days. Looks like we have dry qualifying for the time being, so everyone's going to be pretty much doing their usual hot laps without having to worry about any chance of weather. We got Martin out there doing an out lap as we speak. We got 4 other drivers: Sean, Jamie, Sears, and Alex, warming up their tires, going through Sector 1 here. Very tricky left-right complex. These guys are going to want to do their best to make gaps to ensure they have a nice clean run, don't get any dirty air and such. I would assume everyone's going to be out there on the softest tire compound, but let's have a look. Bear with me as I'm still getting used to all of these different controls here. So we got championship leader Chalet, Michael, as he's known as, on medium tires, which is an interesting strategy to go out. Maybe just going to put down a quick hot lap and see where he stands with the rest of the grid and go out there on a softer compound afterwards. We got Sean out there in second place in the championship, out there on super soft tires, warming his tires up. I believe Martin will be the first one on a hot lap as he comes through Sector 1. Dunlop corner, very tricky uphill left-hander. Get it all wrong, you wind up in that gravel trap, and that's not what you want. Comes through the Degner corners, brakes nicely, and goes under the second part of the track, the 1.2 kilometer straightaway on the backstretch. Brakes nicely for the hairpin, a little bit of a lockup, but not so bad. Maintains his speed coming out of there. We got yellows in Sector 2 for some reason, maybe someone pulling over for someone. But yeah, we have carbon fiber continuing through Spoon. First left-hander not so hard, second left-hander got to brake a little bit and have a nice run all the way down to the famed 130R corner. Used to be a tricky corner, but now you can keep it flat with all the downforce that these cars have. Brakes the Casio chicane. Very smooth lap, it seems, just from watching on the stream here. He comes across the line. Oh, it looks like he had an invalidation somewhere in the lap because no time went up there. Jamie's jumped up to P1, 129.3 on the medium tire, so that'll probably be beat by one of the super soft runners. Let's see how Sean is getting on. Coming through Spoon, heading down to 130R. Sean driving the Ferrari this season after his stint in the Mercedes last season where he took the championship. Going to really be fighting Chalet pretty hard to take another back-to-back championship, which has never been done in this series before. Sean across the line 26.3, and as previously predicted, that was faster than Jamie's medium time. The Jallman comes across 130, Hasnane comes across 128.5. Soft tire. So as you can see, we got many different tire compound strategies going on here. Who else do we got close to the end of the lap? Here comes Chalet, as previously mentioned. Only a 30.2 on the mediums. Slower than Jamie's time, which I'm sure he'll be a little disappointed about. We got Bohr, 29.3 on the super soft, but no one seems to be beating Sean's super soft time at the moment. Sean's on his cooldown lap now, ready for another run. there's Martin's time, 28.7 on the mediums, which is the best of the medium runners so far. So nice lap by him. Let's see what Raymith is doing. He's coming across the line right now. Goes P2 right behind his teammate, 28.0 on the mediums. So he has bested the medium runners. So interesting that the drivers are going out there on the hardest compounds, feeling out the track conditions, making sure that their setups are to their liking, and then they'll probably go out there on the softer set for their second run, and if there's time, they might do a third. Fap Demon is in the pit lane. I'm interested to see how he will do, as he's had a nice run of things lately. Back on track, though, we have Chalet, clearly on another hot lap here, wants to do a little better on those mediums. Smooth braking for the Casio chicane, comes across the final corner and over the line. Does, wow, okay. Jumps up to a 28.0, right? Very, very close to Mitchell's time. So I assume most people right now are on their cool-down laps, getting ready for their second runs, talking to their engineers, trying to see if they need to make any front wing adjustments, as that's the only thing allowed during the session. Perhaps maybe discussing how the car is feeling. I see Jamie is out on his out lap. Very quick turnaround on the pit road from him. Here comes Fap Demon in the McLaren, going around the Degner corners. Warming those tires up nicely. He's on the mediums as well, so he's a little late to the party, but gonna see how he can do on his run. 28.0 is the time to beat on those tires. I haven't seen Dan the Snake out yet. Oh, no, there he is. He's on his hot lap, actually. Let's go on board with him and see if we can see how his car is handling for this session. Comes up to the hairpin. Very smooth braking. Need a good exit here to get a good run down to Spoon. A little bit of a tire spin there, but seems to have gathered it back up and going to try and make the rest of the lap perfect. Goes into Spoon. Misses the apex a little bit, but doesn't go too wide and is able to set himself up for the back straight. The 1.2 kilometer back straight. Headed down to 130R that goes over the track near the Degner corners. As you can see, flat right through that corner, 8th gear. Well, pretty conservative braking there, so he might have aborted his lap. Looks like he's actually trying to set up for another one here. Yeah, he's on it, definitely. Let's watch Fat Alex as he comes through 130R. Looks like he's aborted this one as well. So a lot of these guys are boarding laps, and either they've invalidated somewhere or they really just didn't like their lap and they really want to make sure they're on it. We got 9 minutes left in the session. It's go time here. He's on the super soft tires, so let's see. And bins it right there. Unfortunately for Alex, that lap will not be a good one either, and now he's putting on a show for the stream. Alright, as you can see, Sean, Raymith, and Chalet, fastest in the session. They've only gone on the soft tires, these two, Raymith and Chalet, so interesting that they don't feel that they could take the super softs too long in the race. Probably a good strategy for the actual race. Let's take a look at Jamie. Jamie was last week's winner at Russia. Okay, he's not going so fast down the front straight, so I'm not really sure what's going on here. Alright, Sean's going to be starting his lap right now. We all know that on the super soft, Sean's easily going to have the fastest time here. But let's go on board with him. Watch at least some of the lap until I see some of these other top guys. not the best through Sector 1 here. Missed a couple apexes and doesn't really seem to carry a lot of speed through some of these corners, so he may be running a setup that doesn't have as much downforce as the others. Just my opinion, though. Alright, he comes into the hairpin, needs a good exit through here. Seems to get that. And now he heads down to Spoon. Wow, he pushed that braking really late. Misses the apex again, but just like Dan, doesn't go too wide. Nicely through 130R, comes up to Casio chicane. Very late braking, slides the car in nicely. Wow, doing a little four-wheel drift there through the chicane. Comes across the line. Improves his time up to a 26.2, so pretty decent time from Sean there. Let's watch Ramada, see how he does on the Super Softs. He's clearly on his hot lap at the moment. Not so smooth through the Degner corners there. Comes down to the hairpin. A little bit of a lockup. He's really pushing this run. Wants to try and start as high as he possibly can. Hopefully near his ex-teammate Sean from last season up top. Ramada breaks for Spoon, and he hits the apex and gets a halfway decent run through there. A little sloppy, but shouldn't lose more than a couple tenths. And he aborts it. In the meantime, we see that Bohr has come up to second place. Decent run by him, only a few tenths faster than Raymond and Chalet. And Ramada flies across the chicane. Okay, let's see how Carbon Fiber does through 130R. Try and brake as late as possible. Gets a nice entry into the corner. A little bit of a understeer on entry. Doesn't improve his time. Fat Demon's out there finally on his mediums. Clearly going for the hard tire strategy here. Just to let you guys know, I'm gonna start calling these guys by their by their real names, as I know these guys pretty well, so it feels a little awkward calling them by their PSNs. So this is Ben. Ben comes through the Degner corners rather quickly. Pretty sloppy run on the mediums, unfortunately. Okay, Fap Alex is starting his run. Let's go on board with Fap Alex. See if he misses turn one again. Car might not be set up for the first sector on the course, as that's the second time now that he's missed the entry to turn one. So he won't be starting up that high unless he gives it one more go after this. We'll watch Carbon Fiber once more. Then we'll jump up to Chalet after Martin crosses the finish line here. Okay, up to 8th place, not a bad run. Let's take a look at Michael here, championship leader Chalet. Very nice. We got a yellow here for some reason, but very, very nice through the Degner corners there. And a little bit of an early break there from Michael as he comes to the Spoon. It's going to hurt his speed through the back straightaway here, going down to 130R. I wouldn't be surprised if he... Oh, okay. No, I thought he was going to back off. It doesn't seem like he had too fast of a lap going here. as he gets loose coming up to the line. Goes second, though. 27-2 on the softs, not bad. Let's watch Mitchell here. Teammate of mine for many seasons. This guy you can never count out for pole position. However, he's on the soft, so probably not going to outrun any aborts the lap. Gonna give one more go? It looks that way. Let's go on board Mitchell for a lap. I'll be watching the scoreboard over there to see if anybody else puts up a good time. Very nice through turns 1 and 2. And now to the twisty part of the track. Very smooth through there. Very late break for the hairpin. Locks up the front a little bit. Decent run out of there, however. Now he goes down to Spoon. Let's see if he can hit the apex that Dan and Sean could not before. He does. Very, very nicely tucked in there. A little bit of a slide on the second corner, however. Down to 130R. His speed looks a little compromised, however. And conservative braking in the chicane there. But here he comes across the line. Goes third. 3.5 tenths off Chalet's time. I saw it before that Gerard here was on his out lap. And it doesn't look like he's going to have time to do another one, though. We got Sears on a lap, it looks like. Probably not, as he was very slow out of the hairpin there. Jamie jumps up to third place, 27-2 on the Super Softs. We'll come back to Mitchell at the end of the lap here. We have Jerry spun at the hairpin. We'll watch Fat Demon, and then we'll jump over to Mitchell at the end of the lap. Here comes Fat Demon braking for the chicane. A little bit of a lockup, but slides through nicely. A little bit of a slide just like Michael had. And Demon goes fourth, 27.5. Let's check in on Mitchell for coming to the line. Oh, a little bit of a poor line through that chicane, but yeah, he aborts it. Jamie's giving it one more go. See what he could do. Nope, he sounds like he's aborted as well. And that looks to be the end of the session. So you have Sean on pole, Michael second, Jamie third, Ben fourth, Mitchell fifth. And Bohr not so far behind on the Super Softs in sixth. Be right back. Gonna take a quick drink of water, get ready for the race. Alright, so drivers are doing their strategies as we speak, so we'll get this started very shortly. This is one of my favorite tracks, actually. I've had quite a few league wins here back in my F1 days, so really wish I was on the grid. However, I haven't done any practice on this game at all, so it's probably best that I sit out. I'm expecting Jamie to want to pounce immediately on Chalet up in second place there. I could tell that he's going to really want to get the run down to turn 1. Make sure that he can keep his strategy strong, because if Michael takes away in turn 1 and 2 and is able to hold Jamie off, it's not going to be good. Alright, let's go on board with Mitchell. And we have the formation lap, so it'll be a moment. But I want to start somewhere in the middle of the pack here so I can take a look and see if Jamie does indeed get that move done. It can be very important for him to try and make sure Sean doesn't get too far away. I think from what I'm hearing from the guys, the soft medium is the way to go. However, the super soft medium can be a good strategy, and that's probably what Sean's going to do. I've been told that it's going to be a dry race. No rain in the forecast, so no need to worry about the wet tires. But this should be a good one. I hope that these guys put on a good performance today. I'm excited. These guys are warming up their tires and making sure that any adjustments that are made in qualifying are to their liking. Interested to see how Dan's going to do this race. He's been known as the hard charger for many races this season, and today should be no different. We got Martin in 12th. He could probably pick up a few spots if he keeps his nose clean and takes advantage of any mistakes from the guys up ahead. Hasney in 13th also. Very poor qualifying from him, but he's going to be looking to go to the front as well. And of course Brandon 14th. He's just going to be looking for any good result he possibly can get. But these athletes will now be taking to the grid for the very short run through turns 1 and 2. Hoping that they have their bite points on their clutch ready to go. So when the 5 lights go off, they'll be ready to go. And try and make up as many spots as they possibly can. So as I said before, I'll be on board with Mitchell for the start of this race. We'll see if he can make up maybe 1 or 2 spots as well. Lights are on. 2, 3, 5 lights, and away we go in Suzuka. Already Chalet's making the move on Sean down to turn 1. Mitchell seems to have lost a spot. We have Gerard going a bit wide. We have Sears, who has made up quite a few spots in the first couple of corners, up to 5th place already. So unfortunately for Mitchell, he was not able to get the run. But up front we have Chalet, Michael, championship leader, going through Dunlop corner. Everybody seems to have made it through the first few corners properly, pointed in the right direction, so that's good. Good effort by everyone. Let's see if Sean's going to set up Michael for the hairpin. It doesn't look like he's that close to him at the moment, so looks like Michael has the advantage at the moment on the harder compound, keeping the softer compound super softs behind. Everyone seems to have made it through the hairpin. Back up to our leaders. Sean putting a lot of pressure on Michael through Spoon. Very important to get a good run down to 130R. Looks like Sean might have had the better run through Spoon. He's taking a peek at the back of Michael. DRS won't be available just yet. Ooh, a little bit of a lockup from Michael there. Manages to hold position, so first lap is going to be Michael's, leading Sean, who leads Jamie, Ben, Sears, and Mitchell, who seems to be making a move, going down to turn 1. Can he get the move done? No, I asked back out of it. So Sears, hold on for one more lap. Both these guys running on the soft tire. Take a look farther back in the field. We see that Jerry and Gerard, who lost several spots on that start. And unfortunately we have Brandon retiring from the race. Not sure what happened to him, but he was not able to keep his nose clean. And unfortunately is out of this race. In the meantime, we noticed that Sean has taken the lead from Shelley. Missed that along the way. Jamie's still not able to do much on his super soft tires. He is pulling a bit of a gap to Demon. 4th place. Field strung out a bit, except this battle here that continues between Sears and Mitchell. Got a battle for 10th between Martin and Dan. Dan puts a little bit of an outside move there on Martin in 130R. Can't get the move done. Sean sets fastest lap of the race, 1:31.1. DRS now enabled, so these guys can use DRS on the front straight and also going down to 130R, I believe. Look at that battle for 4th going on between Ben, Sears, and Mitchell, rather. It's like, I'm not sure if Ben's got any front wing damage or not. Let's take a look. Hard to tell, really, but seems to have lost a little bit of pace to those guys behind, or up ahead of him. Sears is obviously going to want to try his best to capitalize on any sort of damage or lack of pace that Ben has up ahead of him. Mitchell's holding close with Fat Alex not too far back. Oh, Sears goes a little bit wide in Spoon, which will give Mitchell a little bit of a run. Gonna have the DRS run down to 130R. Can't quite get the move done, however. Will he make a dive down here in the chicane? Yes, he tries, but gets the outside through the chicane and unfortunately has to back out of it. But this, however, will give a sliding Fat Alex an opportunity, but Mitchell goes for another move down in turn 1. Has to back out of that one as well, but Sears goes a bit wide, gets a little bit loose, and Mitchell's got the spot. So Mitchell takes 5th place from Sears. Sears will definitely want to fight back, but you really can't make a move in this part of the track. Up front, we still have Sean and Michael, who are battling, and looks like Fat Alex has made a mistake somewhere. Now drops all the way to the back. Up front, Sean, Michael still going at it. I would assume that the Super Softs won't go farther than about 5 or 6 laps, which will put Sean on the back foot a bit. Jamie has not been able to close the gap at all, and as you can see, Ben has sort of done a recovery and is now in DRS range. Battle for 8th, 9th, and 10th really heating up here with Gerard, Dan, and Martin. Dan makes the dive on Gerard in the chicane. Can't quite get the move done, but wow, they go 3 wide, push Martin a bit off the track. These guys all really jockeying for position early on in this race. Gerard goes very defensive through turn 1. Can't get the move done. Gerard gets a little bit of a gap on Dan and Martin up ahead. You can see Sjoers is starting to fall back from Mitchell a little bit. Mitchell obviously has a little more pace than the Mercedes does. And as you can see, Mitchell has started to close the gap a bit on Ben, who has very much closed the gap on Jamie. These super soft tires must not be holding up for very much longer. These guys are going to have to consider going on to the mediums at some point soon. Got our first corner cut penalty from Sjoers, 3 seconds. Michael really putting the pressure on Sean now for the same reason I just mentioned. I would assume that he's going to want to get ahead of him before he pits. DRS open. Very hard to pass down the front straightaway, however. Sean's defending nicely through turn 1. Holds on for another lap. Michael has no choice but to hang back. Jamie loses a spot to Ben. Looks like Thomas and Hasnain are battling for 10th spot. We have our first pitter. That's Gerard in the Williams. Goes on to the mediums as expected. And he gets a front wing change, so he must have had some contact maybe at the start of the race there when he went wide in turn 1. But I'm going to focus in on the battle here. Up, we have a Renault going off. That's Jamie. Very easy to make a mistake there if you get it all wrong in the Degner corners. These tires must really be toast, as we saw Gerard pitted, so Jamie's going to lose quite a bit of time now to the guys that are running on the super softs, which leaves just Sean, the only super soft guy, still really pointed straight, and he's leading the race. So wow, he gets quite loose there through Spoon, which is really going to give Chalet the opportunity to make a pass for the lead here. A little bit of contact, and he puts Michael in the barriers. Wow. Tough to call that one. Looked like Sean tried to give him room going down to 130R, and just a little bump there, unfortunately, is going to have to put Chalet down pit road for an unscheduled stop. We got Sean pitting for the... Is that soft tires? No, that's medium tires. So that gives Ben the lead now, with Mitchell right in tow. That Ferrari's got a lot of pace, I could tell. Just didn't have the best start. Clearing out these settings a little bit just so I know what I'm doing. So we got Sean, Jamie, Michael, and Gerard with their stops. That is all the super soft runners, I believe. Everyone else started on the softs that are out right now still. We got Sjoers in 3rd now, Jerry 4th, Dan 5th, Martin 6th, Thomas 7th, Hasnain 8th, Fap Alex 9th, and Sean rejoins in 10th position. Yeah, it's very, very tough to call that that incident there. I'm pretty sure that Sean just wanted to open up 130R a little bit and not have such a shallow entry, but unfortunately that really ruined any chance that Chalet had of getting a soft medium advantage on the rest of the field. Puts Ben and Mitchell right in the catbird seat here. We have Martin and Thomas and Hasnain battling for the 6th position. Closest battle on the circuit at the moment. Fastest lap of the race right now, obviously Sean on those super softs. He's holding that at a 131.1. Thomas really holding on to the back of Martin here. Good run by him today. The Renault team, unfortunately, has not had the best luck in the last couple seasons, and both Thomas and his brother have always wanted to have a really good finish, and looks like Thomas is really carrying the flag for the team today. Really conserving those tires right behind Martin right now. He might have a little more pace than Martin up ahead as he loses the rear a little bit. Hasnane's right on their tail, however. Back up front, we have Mitchell and Ben still going at it. Knowing Mitchell, he'll probably just want to sit behind Ben and let the race unfold before he makes any bold move. If he has the opportunity, though, he's going to steal it. See if he closes that gap at all. Ben locks up a little bit going to the chicane, but I don't think Mitchell's going to have enough to fight with that. I might be wrong here. He's going for the move down. Might be using some of his ERS to help assist him, and Mitchell takes the lead. Let's go back to that battle with Martin, Thomas, and Hasnane. Oh, we have Martin going a little wide through the exit of turn 2. Watch these three battle for a little bit, as that seems like the closest battle on the track right now, as Mitchell appears to be pulling away from Ben a bit, and Mitchell gets himself a penalty. Easy to do in Spoon there. Go a little wide or maybe miss the apex a bit. I'm going to go away for just one moment. I'm going to invite Brandon to the booth here. Let's talk about what happened to him to get him out of this race, so hold on one moment. Alright, sorry about that. Looks like Brandon's actually already signed off. But as you can see, Martin still holds the position. 6th position over Thomas. Looks like Hasnane made a mistake somewhere. Lost the spot. Back up front, though, we see Mitchell has continued to increase the gap to Ben. So yeah, it will be interesting to see what happens here when Mitchell pits and puts the mediums on. There's Ben's first... Oh, he received a 5-second penalty. Stop-go penalty, so that's going to hurt him a bit. Not sure what happened there, what caused him to get that penalty, but as we said before, let's see what the gap is when Mitchell pits and comes back out. I assume that Sean's going to have the... He's going to have the advantage as Mitchell comes out, but Sean's in a lot of traffic now. Hasn't either made a mistake or pulled over. And there's Mitchell coming out of the pits, and there it is. Sean gets the advantage. Even with the traffic he was stuck in, Mitchell seems to have not been able to capitalize on the run there. Probably without Mitchell's poor start, he would have been able to take the lead back if he was able to keep up with the leaders, but he was battling with Sears enough that was unable to come together for him. So we have Chalet Michael down in 10th spot. Unfortunate incident he had with Sean earlier on in the race. Sean makes the move on Fat Alex. The other Alex is not racing today, so I'll just refer to him as Alex. We have Dan in third. Jerry's up to a nice second spot right now. Falling back a bit from Ben, but maybe he'll get that spot back or get closer to him after Ben serves his time penalty. Doesn't pit yet. Stays out another lap. Those tires have to be screaming by now. Jerry pits. Hopefully he got. It looks like he got stopped in the right amount of time to not get a speeding penalty. And he puts the mediums on, and he's gone. However, Alex did not get it stopped in time and gets a 5-second penalty. And a little bit of contact as well with the inside wall of the pits. Puts mediums on, and he's gone. So that leaves Hasnain. You saw a battle happening here. Sears, Jamie, and Jerry going at it. Jerry on his fresh mediums that he'll have to get warmed up a bit before he can really go to battle. Jamie and Sears are now going to come to blows soon. We got Mitchell coming up on Hasnain, who has still yet to pit. I would assume that the rest of the guys are going to want to come in for their first stop soon. Where is my... There we go. We see that Hasnain's moved up the most spots, 9. Everyone's on the mediums. So that means that Dan and Hasnain will want to stay out for a little longer. Mitchell makes the inside move on Hasnain, going to 130R. Hasnain will probably make that easy. Puts Mitchell up to 4th, 3-ish seconds, 2.6 seconds back. There's Ben serving his 5-second penalty. And on go the mediums. Sean goes fastest with the 31.0. Ben really getting... Okay. Thank you, Codemasters, for glitching out there. Dan's now been relegated to the lead. Relegated to the lead? Given the lead? Now that everybody's pit. So Dan and Hasnain are probably going to go maybe 15 or so laps, as they both started outside the top 10. Actually, no, Dan, I believe, started inside. Let's take a look at that again. Dan started in 10th, so he's on old mediums, whereas Hasnain was able to start on the mediums. Closest battle we have on the circuit right now is this one. Battle for 5th between Sears, Ben, and Jamie. Pretty sure that Michael's going to join this battle eventually. Dan's hosting a solid 9.7 second lead over Sean right now, but that'll obviously change when he pits. Mitchell unable to close the gap really that much at the moment. I don't believe Sean's got a penalty yet. Did they show you that on here? I don't think so. Anyway, Sears makes a move on Ben. Ben's weave there seems to indicate that may have been a little bit on the dirty side. But yeah, both Jamie and Michael seem to have lost out the most this race. With Jamie's slide off the track. Gerard's retired. Not sure what's happened there. Martin finds himself all the way at the back now, bringing up the rear. 12th place. Not the race he would have hoped, but maybe he can make up some spots along the way if more people make some mistakes up ahead. Thomas running 11th. As we said, this is a pretty decent run for him. Got Alex in 10th. He had some troubles earlier on. Jerry running solid 9th. Michael 8th. We got a virtual safety car, so probably at the result of Gerard's crash there. Dan's going to take advantage of this and pit. Very lucky for him. So Dan's actually going to really win out here if he's able to come back out in a decent position. Looks like Hasnane's also going to pit. Sears in 5th. Probably will not beat Dan out. It's going to be close, actually. Dan beats him out. Wow. So very, very timely virtual safety car for the leaders. Dan and well, Hasnane wasn't a leader necessarily, but he's going to win out on this as well. I hope this will tell me when the virtual safety car ends. Okay, there it is. Wow, Ben able to get the jump on Jamie right there. I think that he was behind him. But this gap really has closed up now. These 4 drivers are really going to be going at it. I'm watching that gap between Mitchell and Sean as well. It's come down from 2.6 seconds to 1.7, 1.5, so maybe that was a beneficial virtual safety car for Mitchell. Got quite a gaggle of cars going for positions right here. It's right on board with Michael. Whoops. Michael, who had a very unfortunate incident with Sean earlier this race, is trying to make back these spots. Been on these tires for 8 laps now. I'm really interested to see if Dan can pull away from these guys as he's on fresh softs. Sears is pulling away from Ben a little bit. Yeah, it looks like Ben's not getting through these corners too well. I wonder if he has some damage from any incident he might have had with Sears earlier on. But I think the person you're going to really want to watch to make up some spots here is the championship leader, Michael. Ben goes a little wide in the second Degner. So yeah, I'm almost certain that Ben's got front wing damage. Got yellows in sector 1 and 2. That's unfortunate for Thomas. He is having a really good race there. Where is this? This is Dunlop? Yeah, this is Dunlop corner. And now he's driving the wrong way. Why is he driving the wrong way? Alright. Well, that's interesting. Stewards might want to have a look at that one. Let's see. We got Michael still chasing down Jamie. Mitchell goes fastest with a 30.8. Another yellow in sector 1. Might be the Thomas thing. There goes Michael, making a nice pass on Jamie into turn 1. As you can see, Ben has lost a spot to Sears. Mitchell's keeping that 1 second gap for DRS. Hasn't been able to get it quite yet. Can only hope that Sean makes a mistake up ahead of him so he can get a better run. Trying to see where Mitchell might have the advantage on track, in particular over Sean, since he's been able to close that gap down. Also keep in mind that Sean's been on these tires for a little longer than Mitchell has. Dan's starting to close up on his softs, but I don't think it's going to be enough for him to get up there to battle with these guys. Ben's keeping the pressure on Sears, so the damage may not be affecting him that much as Sears gets a little loose, as does Ben. And Jamie's starting to lose some ground, but Jerry looks like he's going to want a piece of this. Be watching this battle over the next few laps. Mitchell is now in DRS range of Sean. He's got the DRS open. Will these two Ferrari drivers come to blows? Will Sean let him go, or will Sean want to keep this position to better his position in the championship after Michael's bad day? I'm sure Mitchell will want to just stay behind if he possibly can. To help his teammate in the championship, but constructors' points are obviously on the line here. Ben's gotten back by Sears again. So this battle continues to rage on, and you got Michael in the mix now. Jerry's still putting pressure on Jamie up ahead. Let's go on board with Jerry. See how he's handling on these medium tires. Actually, let's go back up front because Mitchell is now getting a decent run on Sean. Again, these guys do not want to make contact. You never want to hit your teammates, so Mitchell will only make the move if the opportunity presents itself. Sean goes defensive down the front straight. Mitchell goes outside. Mitchell easily takes a spot from Sean. Dan goes fastest as expected on the softs. Looks like Sears loses a spot to Michael down the front straight. And Jerry gets Jamie down the front straightaway. So all the passes are happening now. Jamie's really, oh, a little contact maybe. Coming out of the corner. Jamie's going backwards, so I'm not sure if his setup is just not conducive to this, to the race compared to his excellent qualifying, but yeah, Jamie's going backwards. Good run by Jerry today. He's really putting a solid effort in the Mercedes. Sears is losing a bit of ground to both Ben and Michael, as both of them lock up into the hairpin. Sean seems to be losing a bit of ground to Mitchell as well. At this point, Sean probably doesn't want to push it. Again, he's 2 points back from Michael in the championship. And being as Mitchell's won this race before, he won last season, he's wanting to go back-to-back. Let's go back and check out the Jerry and Sears battle. Jerry and Jamie battle, rather. That soon will be Sears and Jerry. Got a battle brewing now between Alex and Hasnain. Hasnain gets him down the straightaway, almost contact, just like the Michael and Sean incident. And doesn't seem like Alex has much to fight back with, so put Hasnain up to 9th, Alex down to 10th. Chalet has gotten, he's still actually ahead of Sears after his pass on him a couple laps ago. Got 7 laps to go. Can Sean do anything with Mitchell? Not losing too much ground to him, but again, Sean's tires are 4 laps older than Mitchell's, so I don't see him really putting a huge fight to him. Good championship points are on the line for him today, so he'll probably want to remain exactly where he is. Dan's having a solid run, 3rd place. 7 seconds behind Mitchell. He's come down from the 11 that it was when he came out of the pits. Ben's running 10.0 seconds behind Mitchell by himself. All things remain the same, he'll finish here. Wonder if Michael will be able to close that gap at all. Sears having a good day in 6th with his teammate Jerry right behind in 7th. Jamie continues to fall back. Got Hasnain holding down 9th spot, and the last paying position goes to Alex. Martin having a forgettable day in 11th spot. Unfortunate for him. He was probably wearing out his softs a bit too much in that first stint and unable to really capitalize on any pit strategy. Virtual safety car may have hurt him as well. But yeah, the pack seems to have thinned out a bit. Jamie's closing back up on Jerry again. But again, Jamie's pace today does not seem to be one to speak about where he will be able to move up any further. As long as Jerry keeps it clean, he should have a solid 7th place. Not over yet, though. Ben's now under 10 seconds from Mitchell. So I guess that damage that I had anticipated that he had really was not true. He just had a couple of momentum issues trying to get himself back together again. Jamie's holding position now with Jerry, just keeping him in his crosshairs. Seems like the 3rd place position, Dan, is not really gaining much more time on the leaders, so the softs are probably starting to match up with the wear of the mediums of the guys up ahead of him. Jamie's got DRS, can't do anything about Jerry. And it looks like Michael hasn't been able to close up on Ben very much. Maybe 2.2 seconds back. Michael really would have wanted more for this race, unfortunately. He was in the perfect strategy to really take the fight to Sean after Sean's pit stop. And when it all went wrong, going down to 130R. Jamie's still keeping Jerry close by. Sean goes fastest at a 30.4. I would have expected maybe down the 29s for this race, but track conditions or the tires may not be so conducive to that. Would have thought that Dan had a bit more pace on those softs, but wasn't really meant to be. Sean continues to run about a half second back from his teammate. Not really much that Sean will likely want to do here. Ben's about 10 seconds back as he's been for a while now. Michael's really going to want to try and close that gap if he can, but he's running out of time. Again, Jerry and Jamie seem to be the only two on the track that are in a decent battle for now. Jamie definitely probably wanted more of this race. In his 3rd position starting. His unfortunate off-course excursion on lap, I think 5 or 6 it was. Actually, before that was his in-lap. It wasn't the right tire strategy for him. He wasn't able to pull it off like Sean was. Let's see if I could pull up. The biggest mover of the race today is going to be Dan. 10th to 3rd. Good run by him. Mitchell 5th to 1st. And Hasnane up 4 positions as well. Biggest loser, as I mentioned before, Jamie from his 3rd position fell all the way to 8th. And Michael, obviously, down 3 spots, which he did not deserve. So next week we head to the Circuit of the Americas, I believe. Either that or Mexico. I can't remember which race is next. Let me take a look here. Yeah, next... Nope, still not showing it how I wanted it to. Sean's still keeping Mitchell in his crosshairs. Yeah, we got the Circuit of the Americas next, over to Austin, Texas. A track that Sean has won a few races at. A track with a lot of corner cutting penalties. And there's always the threat of rain there, so it'll be interesting to see if we have another dry race next week. I will unfortunately not be able to commentate next week, so you'll probably have Brandon back. Brandon wanted to give today's race a shot, but unfortunately it didn't work out for him. Yeah, Michael continues to lose ground to Ben up ahead. Hasn't been able to close up as he wanted to, so unless he's kind of not been able to get back into the groove after his incident or not, he hasn't been able to show his hand here today, and will lose the championship lead to Sean after today's race. The other Alex that I mentioned before that usually races today is in third. And he will lose that position today to Mitchell, I believe. Yeah. Mitchell's win is going to give him third place in the championship, so that'll put Alex back down to fourth. And there's a bigger gap down to Dan in fifth. So it'll likely be Sean, then Michael, then Mitchell, then Alex, then Dan as your top five in the championship. Unless something changes in the next two laps. Jamie's still putting the pressure on Jerry. We'll have to watch the last lap between the leaders and these two guys to see if anything changes. But again, Jerry has really put on a good race today. Kept out of trouble and has had very good pace against guys around him that he typically doesn't race around. But Mitchell, what a race he had, from a poor start, falling back a spot, and having to claw his way back to being able to outpace Sean in the second stint of the race. It's a good drive by him today. These boys are coming around right now to take the white flag. And let's see if Sean can do anything. White flag is out. That's the last lap of the race. I'm watching that gap between Jamie and Jerry as well. Mitchell actually extends the gap a bit through Sector 1. These two battle going down to Turn 1. Looks like Jerry's going to hold the position for now. Yeah, Sean's maybe got one more shot at this. He's not close enough to the hairpin, so it's going to have to be at the last chicane if he's going to do anything. But again, Sean's not going to do anything to hurt his chances with Mitchell. Hurt the team points here. He knows that he's got the championship lead after this race, so he's going to try his best to keep it. Keep it steady how it goes, get good constructor points, and bring it home. Again, I don't remember if Sean has a penalty or not. I believe he did get one. I know Mitchell's got one. At least one. But here we go into the chicane for the final time. Let's see how it shakes out with penalties. And Mitchell crosses the line to take first place. And yeah, it looks like Sean graciously crashes into the pit wall. Mitchell is your winner of the Season 11 Race Department F1 Japanese Grand Prix. Dan takes home third. Ben takes home fourth. Shelley a disappointing fifth. Sears is coming across the stripe in sixth place. And yep, Jamie seventh. Something happened to Jerry on the last lap, as it looks like Jamie did get the better of him. Hasnay 9th, Alex 10th, and another disappointing run for the Sauber driver of Martin, who will come home as the only driver finishing to not score points today. Wow, for the first time commentating, this was actually a lot of fun. I really enjoyed doing this. May not be as exciting as some of the European F1 commentators, but I did my best. Hope you all enjoy watching. Again, these guys are all professionals. They're all really great drivers, and I'm happy to be a part of this league for as long as I have. Champagne being sprayed by the Ferrari guys. Good run by them, dominant by the whole Ferrari organization. And a good, respectful run by Dan to come back from 10th place. So yeah, the top two had penalties, the next four did not, and then yeah, it looks like Jerry might have actually crossed the line ahead of Jamie, but had the penalties. Jamie got 2 spots there actually after Sears and Jerry unfortunately crossed the line after the penalties. Yeah, that Jerry would have... No, I think Jerry actually got passed by Jamie, because that would have put him at 20.4 seconds. So there's your finishing order. Let me actually see if I can get an interview with the top 3. Hang on a second. Alright, I don't have Dan on my friends list, so I won't be able to interview him, but I got Sean and Mitchell. So hopefully they could chat a bit about their race. Something that we haven't done yet before in this league. See if I can get them to come over. Give it a minute here.
Hello.
Here, hi guys. So I have the top 2 here in my party. I got Mitchell, the winner, back-to-back from last season, and I got Sean, second place. What a race, guys! That was quite a performance from you guys. Mitchell, you qualified 5th, and you lost some ground, and you were able to claw your way back. So, what was it like at the start of the race for you there?
Well, qualifying was very disappointing. I was out of fuel the last lap I did. Otherwise, I was like P4 or something like that. Yeah, race struggled a little bit behind Slossie and somebody else, Jamie, I think, on the super softs. But in the end, some of them like spinning off or like I overtook them. So and then hunted down Fat Demon. It's quite fun actually. He went for a different strategy, and yeah, mine was actually quite good.
So I saw that there was a virtual safety car there in the middle of the race. Was that helpful, hurtful to you, or kind of indifferent?
For me, didn't matter actually. I had enough ERS and enough fuel. I was just, hunting down Sean at that moment, so I was just focused on the Delta this race, not like the last race. But
Yeah.
no.
So, and then obviously you were able to track down. You seemed to have a little more pace than Sean going into that second stint of the race there. Did you track him down? Did you see that he was making some mistakes and you were able to capitalize, or were you just focused and ready to take on the task of taking a back-to-back win?
Yeah, well, obviously my tires were a little bit fresher than Sean's, so I knew I was a little bit faster. I was surprised that I was so close after the pit stops. Probably he was like held up or something like that, pitting early,
Right.
because
Yeah.
other people like on the softs and on the mediums. I don't know, but yeah, for that, of course I have fresher tires, and then it was just focused behind him, bit by bit, 10 by 10s, and then when I had DRS, Sean was like so polite to let me through, and then he followed me very easily. With the DRS was quite extremely powerful. So yeah, we could do like a double for Ferrari.
Okay, that's very good run today, Mitchell. That was quite the class drive from you today. Let's hear from your teammate Sean though. So Sean, you went for the super soft strategy early on. So I'm assuming that you just hoped for pole and just to kind of drive off a bit and hope that your strategy would put you up the road with the mediums.
Yeah, I knew from the beginning I would go on the supers because I hadn't done any practice on the soft stint. So I need to do something to capitalize maybe Shelly to hunt down the championship. So I just decided to go on the supers and just go gun blaze it, but which always happens to me having a very bad start. So that didn't even help. And after that I capitalized and overtake him again. And then we had really unfortunate an incident.
Yeah, I saw that. I got that on the
call it
stream. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I just texted Shelly about it. I mean, it's not the way how I wanted right now, the championship. But Shelly said to me that I drifted into him and then he spun around, but it didn't happen on my screen. And now I feel pretty bad, that we collided with each other. And yeah, I feel very bad about it.
I noticed it seemed like on the stream I couldn't tell if you were just trying to open up the corner a little bit and maybe you thought you had him cleared. It just seemed very unfortunate. It didn't seem like anything intentional or trying to scare him a little bit. It just seemed like a unfortunate situation. But yeah, so that means that Shelley had to jump right into your super soft strategy and get a wing replacement and move on. So yeah, from that point on, he was kind of on the back foot trying to come back to the field again, and unfortunately he didn't. But yeah, so the second part of your race, were you a little bit thrown off your balance because of that? Is that why you seemed to lose some pace to your teammate, or?
Yeah, it wasn't really that I lost pace, but it was more like the tires, and also it was still in my mind, that I hit a cherry, and now the championship is now completely different right now, and I felt in the whole way still guilty, about what happened with me and Shelly, because I don't know whose fault it was, even though we went side by side into 130R, which is, pretty dangerous, but
right.
Even if it wasn't my fault, I still felt very guilty that he was not able to, get his strategy right, and having a very different race. So I felt still very guilty about it.
Yeah, so unfortunate for Shelly there, but racing's all about luck really, and sometimes bad luck strikes you when you least expect it, when you feel like you're kind of on a roll. But yeah, good way to finish second today, and you are now the championship leader. So things seem to be going pretty well for Ferrari at the moment. One guy wins the race, one guy takes championship. So championship leader.
Yeah, buddy.
All right. Well, thank you all to those who tuned in today for my very first commentary. Hope I didn't put anybody to sleep, but next week we're at Circuit of the Americas. Next week we're at Austin, Texas. Are you guys looking forward to that one?
Thanks, Andrew. You did a great job. I hope. I'm gonna watch the stream right now. But great to hear you again and commentate with our race back to race department. And I hope to hear you
Yes.
more often.
All right, let me
To this
turn.
day, he still misses you. He still misses you.
Yeah, I know. All right, let me shut this thing off.